Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to rock on our Wednesday night. What's up, everybody? This is your host, Joseph Collin, here with my co host, Cameron Johnson, for the night. We do not have Wesley Williams this week, but ladies and gentlemen, it's good to be back for the AEW Dynamite reviews. I apologize for the past 2 weeks. The past 2 weeks, I've been dealing with some shit on Wednesday night. 2 weeks ago, there was something down here in Florida called a Hurricane Ian, and I just couldn't. I wasn't able to do the reviews with the power going out and the internet being cut off, so I couldn't do it 2 weeks ago. And then last week, while everything was going on with the whole backstage shenanigans with Sammy Guevara and Andrade, um, I couldn't cover that because I was out at a football game last Wednesday night. But I talked about it on Twitter, gave me a huge sour taste in my mouth about the current state of AEW, and I just went on a full blast rant on Twitter. You all can go check that out if you want. But it's a different week, man. Wednesday night Dynamite in Toronto. Fantastic show tonight, Cam. What is up, dude?
What is going on, Big Shows? Glad to be back on the Big Fight Kill channel, man. After what feels like months and months of me being gone, man. Glad you booked me for the show tonight, man. Glad you actually glad you booked me for the show tonight, man. My God. But in all seriousness, man, let's get into AEW Dynamite. I thought that first hour put me to sleep. I'm not gonna lie, but that second hour was really good. So that second hour was really good. So overall, I thought this was a decent episode of Dynamite. The second hour definitely saved for the end. Let's get into it.
Yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot leading up into next Tuesday special night, Tuesday night Dynamite next week in Cincinnati, when we're gonna have Hangman Page going one-on-one to challenge John Moxley for the AEW World Championship. So it's gonna be a huge Dynamite show next Tuesday, and I promise you I'll be here Tuesday night to cover it. So, but thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We do have a lot to dive into. It was a fun night watching AEW. Great show tonight. However, my Phillies did not get the job done. They lost in Game 2 to the Atlanta Braves 3-0. So it is tied 1-1 going into Philadelphia on Friday. But I had a fun night regardless, man. Just a fantastic show. Before we get into all the festivities tonight, um, be sure to hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on the content, wrestling, football, especially next week too. I'm going to be heading down to South Beach for the Steelers Dolphins on Sunday Night Football, and of course I'm going to be vlogging the game as well. So be sure to subscribe to the channel for all the great content. If you have not already, if you're a Dolphins fan or a Jet fan, be sure to go ahead and check out the post-game wrap-up video from Sunday. It is nearing 400 views, and I was kind enough to let the Jet fans swim into my comments section and talk shit, and I said nothing. So all the Jet fans, if you want to continue to talk shit in my comments section. I really don't care. It doesn't bother me anymore. So yeah, go ahead and do that if you want. And Cam, we got a lot to get into, man. And the first thing that we saw tonight was Jungle Boy against Luchosaurus, which kind of shocked me because I thought we were opening up with the All Atlantic title match. But I thought this match was really fun. This was a very good match. I don't know about you, man, but I feel like this story's kind of dragging for me. I don't know, man. Christian's shoulder injury, I feel like uh, really ruined the plans for this feud, and now it's just kind of being dragged along, and I just don't know what to make of it. This match tonight was very fun. Um, Luchasaurus escapes with the win over Jungle Boy thanks to the help of Christian Cage. Jungle Boy, telling Luchasaurus that he's going to try to tear him piece by piece. He really damaged his right arm in this match, going after the arm of Luchasaurus, the bigger man. But Jungle Boy put up a fight. He even, um, I don't know about you, man, but when you watched the match and you saw the Poison Rana at the end, that had to be the slowest Poison Rana I think I've ever seen, man. Like that shit was slow motion, man. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Yeah. So, um, but hey, Luchasaurus kicked out the Poison Rana, which honestly I thought that was it. After that, I thought Luchasaurus was done. Jungle Boy got in the snare trap, and Luchasaurus escaped. Jungle Boy went for it again, but was distracted by Christian on the outside. He then went back into the ring, was caught by a heel kick by Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy was then thrown into the corner of the ring onto the top rope, and Luchasaurus delivers a top rope chokeslam to Jungle Boy, and then gets the cover. Luchasaurus defeats Jungle Boy. I have no idea where this story goes. I guess we're going to get another match between Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy sometime down the road. Maybe at Full Gear again with Christian being out with an injury. I don't know. I thought this match was very good. For the match itself, I thought it was good. And, Luchasaurus going over was the correct move, considering this story is probably not over. So Luchasaurus did go over in the first match, which I was completely okay with. And yeah, what do you give us your insight on this, Cam?
I thought this is a really good match to kick off Dynamite. I'm shocked this is what opened up Dynamite. I'm shocked. I was shocked this opened Dynamite, but I thought this is a really good match. But I thought this was a really good match between them. Luchasaurus getting the win did not surprise me. I I figured he was getting the win. I thought he should have got the win since this was their. I thought he should have got the win since this is their first match here. Since it's their first match. And in terms of the story dragging, I feel the same way as you, but also but also let's keep in mind that Christian Cage is going to be out for a while, and so I think Christian Cage going out obviously has a lot to do with this story dragging on. 'Cause you can't do the big Jungle Boy Christian Cage match. You can only do Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus for so long. You can only do Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and this is going to get very old, very very fast. And this has the potential to get very old, very very fast. I don't know how they kind of save this feud or what they do in the meantime until Christian comes back. You can always do it. You could always do a thing. You could always do a thing where Jungle Boy. You could always do a thing where Jungle Boy. You could always do a thing where Jungle Boy cuts a promo and Jungle Boy goes. And Jungle Boy goes, I refuse to let Christian Cage ruin my life or something like that. He chooses to focus on his own career or something. You still have Luchasaurus on television as a big dominant monster. Then maybe when Christian Cage is ready to come back, you revisit that program. I don't really know where they go from here with Christian Cage being hurt, but it definitely does feel like this program is going to drag if it's just Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. And hell, maybe you can do an unsanctioned match with them, but it definitely does feel like this program is going to drag or something like that. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't give the vibe that it did at the beginning of the feud because Christian was really cutting those intense promos, which I loved. That part of the feud was awesome. When Dark Luchasaurus first came in, and then he went back to Jungle Boy, and then he came back to Christian, and now yeah, we kind of agree that it's dragging, and if we see repetitive matches between Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, it's going to get very old very fast. It's not going to get exciting. We don't want that. But as far as the direction of the story goes, I mean, I legit don't know. I don't know. I guess that's a good thing, but I don't know, man. It's just, it doesn't give me the same, I guess, excitement as other feuds that are going on in AEW right now. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with this feud, but I really do feel like Christian's injury put the feud between Christian and Jungle Boy on pause, even though Christian's still physically there. Um, the feud right now between those two is on pause. So, see what happens with that down the line. But we're gonna get it. We're gonna move on. We have Samoa. How did I forget? we actually open up the show with Renee Paquette. Renee Paquette is all elite. I can't believe I forgot to say that. It was announced before the show. She came out. She welcomed the Toronto crowd to Dynamite, and then she introduced Christian Cage. I love this signing for AEW. I really do think it's a great signing. She's now their brand new backstage interviewer, and I'm going to say when she was in her time with WWE, I thought she was phenomenal. I thought that, and I've thought this back in her days with WWE, so you can't call me biased on this one. But, um, you know, I really thought she was the fewer backstage interviewers at the time who actually on camera showed great personality and showed love.
Personality, bro.
What was that?
I just said she had a personality, bro.
I know. That's what made her so great in WWE. And now she gets to bring that to AEW. I love it, man. It's a great signing. What do you think?
I do too. I like Renee Paquette going to AEW. To be honest with you, I'm shocked it took this long. I know she had a kid. I know she had a kid and everything, but to be honest with you, I'm shocked that it took this long for. I'm shocked that it took this long for her to go to AEW. But I think this is a tremendous signing by Tony Khan, and I said and I think this is a tremendous signing by Tony Khan, and I said on Twitter, Renee Paquette going to AEW is what I call a win-win. WWE, they get Kathy Kelly back. WWE, they get Kathy Kelly. AEW, they get Renee Paquette. That is a win-win. Renee Paquette, in my opinion, is the best backstage interviewer in the game. In my opinion, is the best backstage interviewer in the game. Renee Paquette is fantastic. She has some personality. And all I'm going to say is this. An AEW wrestler has the audacity to disrespect Renee Paquette when she's doing one of these backstage, when she's doing one of these backstage interviews. Not so much interrupt them, but if they got the audacity to give Renee Paquette even a look, John Moxley should be there to throw hands with either one of them. That is a woman who's going to get some respect in that locker room. So
I knew that was the direction you were going in, bro. I just knew it right when you mentioned that. But yeah, it is a win-win. I love Kathy Kelly and I love Renee. I mean, they're both incredible. But yeah, Renee's. I can't believe we're comparing backstage interviewers here. But if we had to pick one, I would pick Renee as probably the best in the game right now. So, let's move on. Let's talk about the new tag team of Wardlow, and Samoa Joe. It just feels like such a thrown together tag team, dude. I mean, I really don't understand the point of this tag team. I mean, Wardlow's the TNT champion, and he's in tag team matches with Wardlow. Now, I know last week he defended the championship against Brian Cage, which I saw. It was a great match. It was probably the best match on last week's show. If you ask me, I really enjoyed that match. But I don't care about him being in a tag team with Samoa Joe. And they're better off being in a tag team. They're better off not being in a tag team. And they squashed the factory. There's really no point in talking about that match. But then you got Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony coming out. They're from Ring of Honor. And I think we mentioned this a couple of weeks ago when we talked about Chris Jericho winning the Ring of Honor Championship, dude. I can't wait for this ROH deal to get here because I don't want this ROH stuff on AEW television. Like, I don't want that interfering with television that's on AEW. Does that kind of make sense?
yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, to finish the segment, they came out. They interrupted Samoa Joe and Wardlow. FTR then came out once they were talking shit about FTR, and they said that there's 4 of us and there's 3 of you, but these 2 just had a hell of a match tonight, and we're gonna give them Friday off. So they challenged the Gates of Agony to a 6-man tag, and their partner is the return of new gimmick, the Perfect 10, Shawn Spears, who is now the Perfect 10 in AEW. He's back. He looks great, man. He looks to be in great shape. I think him and his wife are having a kid, so congratulations to him. But he's back in AEW, man, and the full Pinnacle is back without MJF. You got the Pinnacle and Samoa Joe reuniting in AEW. So looks like they're taking on the Gates of Agony Friday night on Rampage. Don't really care about Rampage right now at the moment. It's just not an exciting show. But good for Shawn Spears. What are your thoughts?
Uh, boy, we had Shawn Spears. Boy, we had Shawn Spears, Tony Nese, and Smart Mark Sterling in the same segment. In the same exact segment. I don't know about that one, TK. I don't. First off, you guys know my thoughts on Shawn Spears. No disrespect to Shawn Spears. The dude is a great wrestler. No disrespect to Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears is a very good wrestler. I'm very happy him and Cassidy Lee, the former Peyton Royce. No, I'm very happy him and Cassidy Lee, the former Peyton Royce, are getting ready to have a kid. This is no shock to Shawn Spears, the person at all. Shawn Spears as a character on television does absolutely nothing for me. He bores me to tears. Tony Nese on television. I have no interest in seeing Tony Nese on television. He bores me to tears. Same thing with Smart Mark Sterling. I am so over this Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling act. My God, I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it.
We're gonna get to them in a little bit. Don't worry.
And in terms of War, and in terms of War Joe, uh, look, it's fine for a one-off here. I don't want to see these guys as a permanent tag team. I just don't. I don't want to see these guys as a permanent tag team. First off, this is the best you have for Wardlow as TNT champion. Wardlow feels like his momentum is completely just falling off the cliff ever since he won that TNT title. Man, it's like he won the TNT title and TK had. It's like he won the TNT title and AEW has had no idea what to do with them. You know, AEW has had no idea what to do with them. They should have. Well, first, first off, what the fuck is Will Hobbs? This is my question. I said I did Actfish. I said build the. Said here Actfish. I said build a Will Hobbs and I said build a Will Hobbs and Wardlow for the TV title unless Will Hobbs is injured and we don't know it. Where the fuck is Will Hobbs? You know, Wardlow needs a challenge. The Wardlow needs challenges to that TNT title. Will Hobbs would be a nice challenger for Wardlow, but I don't know what they're doing with him. Wardlow's momentum feels like it's completely died down. I'm not gonna get too much into Samoa Joe because that's not really AEW's fault since he was filming the television show. Since he was filming the television show, so I'll cut him a pass on Samoa Joe. To be honest with you, I want this in the whole alliance to lead to a unification match. If you're not gonna do anything with the Ring of Honor brand, and we pitched our own ideas of what we would do. We pitched our own ideas of what we would do with Ring of Honor. But Ring of Honor is not going to get a television deal. Ring of Honor is not going to get a TV deal. You don't have a plan for it, and you don't have a plan to give them a weekly TV show on YouTube. I would like to see Samoa Joe and Wardlow build a unification match. TNT title, Ring of Honor championship, a TV title, ROH TV title unification match. I would like to see them built to that. I would like to see them built to that. But and it was nice seeing FTR on television because we haven't seen FTR on TV in a while. So it was nice seeing FTR on TV. It's just an average match, and this segment did nothing for me. It was Shawn Spears, Tony Nese, and Smart Mark Sterling in the same segment. I posted.
They weren't in the same segment though. They weren't in the same segment. They were.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Not the same segment. I'm at the same hour. I'm at the same hour of television. I'm sorry. I'm at the same hour of television. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit about this. I don't give a shit about War Joe. Not disrespect the War on Samoa Joe. I don't give a shit about the next thing we're going to talk about either. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Yeah, I feel like this tag team's beneath them at a certain stance. So, a one-off was fine, but not a full-time tag team, especially with Wardlow as the TNT champion. I feel like that. I feel like his cliff's fallen a little bit, and it's quite sad because I was on the Wardlow train when he was feuding with MJF, and now it's just not the same. It's not the same right now. So, but I don't know, man. I guess we'll see where this goes. I don't have. I don't think the unification match will happen. I don't think it makes sense because I do think that Ring of Honor TV deal is getting done. I want it to get done, so. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Um, Talking about one of my favorite things in all of wrestling right now, the Acclaimed with Daddy Ass, dude. Holy smokes. I mean, listen, before we get into the match, I tweeted out the Acclaim adding the whole Scissor Me Daddy Ass thing and adding Billy Gunn to the group is the best thing that they could have done to the Acclaimed. They are so over, man, worldwide. That segment last week, National Scissor Me Day, was mwah. It was so perfect, dude. It was absolutely a home run. That segment was last week. I'm in a loss for words. How awesome these guys. They're just awesome, dude. They're just freaking. They're great. The Acclaimed are great. So anyway, tonight the Daddy S, Daddy S himself, Billy Gunn, took on Swerve Strickland. He took on Sneaky Swerve. I thought the match was all right. It wasn't anything too special. Um, it's crazy to me how Billy is the oldest out of the Generation X and that whole faction, and he looks the best out of all of them right now. I just brung that up because DX was on Raw Monday, but he looks to be in incredible shape, man. And Sneaky Swerve got the win over Daddy Ass by heel shenanigans. Swerve is playing a great heel character role in this feud with Swerve and now Glory and the Acclaimed. I don't know where Keith Lee is right now, but Swerve is playing the perfect heel in this feud with the Acclaimed, and he is just so hated, man. He's absolutely hated by these people every week, um, with every crowd basically being pro-Acclaimed over Swerve and now Glory. But I'm loving it, man. Swerve got the win tonight, so he got the one up over the Acclaimed. And my guess is we're heading toward a rematch at Full Gear between Swerve and now Glory and the Acclaimed. But Cam, what do you think about this, man?
I thought this match was fine. First off, it warms my heart to see how over the Acclaimed are, man. Warms my heart to see how over they are. Them adding Billy Gunn to their act was a really great idea. But I first saw it, I was like, what? What? Why is this happening? I was like, why is that happening? And it all scissor me daddy ass thing. It's so stupid. But it's so stupid, so juvenile. But in wrestling, the stupidest things get over. But in wrestling, it is amazing how the stupidest things get over. Steve Austin got a what chant? Steve Austin got a what chant over. Chris Jericho in 2016 got the word it over, got a list over, and got a potted plant named Mitch over, man. And now it is 2022, and the Acclaimed have got its scissoring me daddy ass over. They have gotten scissoring over. It is just incredible how the most juvenile things in wrestling get so beloved. This is why I love wrestling, man. My God, this is why I love wrestling, my God. But I thought this match was fine here. Swerve getting the win made sense, and Swerve in the Acclaim Part 3. Sign me up, because they last two matches have been gold. Part 3, sign me up.
Yeah, we're definitely heading toward a part 3, and I don't know about you, man, but last week when Max Caster was on the microphone and he was like, I need everybody in this building to stand up and offer each other peace by scissoring. I mean, that was awesome, dude. And then the daddy ass awarding Anthony Bowens with the gigantic pair of scissors. I mean, My God, man, just the elevation of these two guys ever since they came in during the pandemic, it's been incredible, man, and it's one of the best things, if not the best thing in AEW right now. And how can you not love the Acclaimed? I mean, seriously. But also, how can you not love MJF? MJF really didn't cut a promo tonight. It was just a backstage interview. He defeated Wheeler Yuta last week in a very good match. Um, Alex Marvez was his backstage interviewer, and Marvez asked him about William Regal, and MJF was like, "Me and William have a past, but I'm not sure if William wants to take that route." And he started talking trash about the Blackpool Combat Club, but then Marvez brung up um, Wheeler Yuta and why was he going to shake his hand? And he says, Wheeler Yuta is a tough kid, but I grew up with the lesson of being too nice gets you nowhere. And then he talks about being the AEW World Champion and how AEW needs a savior like him, a devil like him. So he just passionately cut a promo about being the champion and him cashing in that poker chip anytime that he wants on the world champion. So this led to our next segment with a face-to-face between Jon Moxley and Adam Hangman Page. And this segment was fantastic. I mean, there was some great in-ring action tonight, dude, but this was my favorite part of the show. This segment sold me on the match that they're going to have next week for the World Championship in Cincinnati, especially Hangman Page. I mean, this freaking man he busted himself open by punching himself in the face, by saying how he has to do this because he's a man. Um, it was incredible, man. Moxley was talking about how he has respect for Hangman as a talent and as a human being. Moxley says that means so much coming. Hangman said that means so much coming from Moxley, coming from the world champion of our company. And he talked about how last week, though, he called him a kid and how that offended him, and that he's not a kid and he's a man, and that he has to do this because he is a freaking man. And he started punching himself in the face as hard as possible, which ultimately led him to busting himself open. Um, he talked about how ever since he's lost the world championship, how he didn't go for it on the buckshot back in May at Double or Nothing. That he's lost the trios championships with his best friends in the whole company. Now he feels separated from them more than ever, and now he feels alone. And he says his other group of friends have disappeared, which was the first mention of the Elite ever since they had their backstage shenanigans with CM Punk and Ace Steel back at All Out. So Hangman's just telling a great story of basically how he has absolutely fucking nothing to lose going into this match next week against Jon Moxley, and how Jon Moxley has everything to lose, and Hangman has absolutely nothing to lose. And you have MJF up on the skybox who's laughing his ass off about Hangman Page and about Moxley, and he says next week I'm going to prove myself that I have it in me and that I am the better man than you are. So I love the story about this. It's so predictable. The result, obviously, it's in Cincinnati. Jon Moxley is not losing the AEW World Championship to Hangman Page. Um, but man, the friggin' story of tonight's promo sold me on the match, and I think, dude, I think these guys are gonna kill it next week. I'm excited for Tuesday night next week, man. Not Wednesday night, Tuesday night. Hangman Page versus Moxley. Cam, take it away.
Oh yeah, man. Forgot me. So I just want to say, man, could you imagine what? Could you imagine next week you watching Von Wagner or somebody over Hangman Page and John Moxley for the AEW title next week? Could you imagine doing that next week, man? Could you? Oh my god! Oh my god, man! This was a tremendous segment. This is a tremendous promo. here between two of the best promos in the company. John Moxley and Adam Hangman Page. First off, Hangman Page is a fashion icon. Hangman Page is a fashion icon. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I need him to drop the link on Twitter. I need him to drop the link as to where he buys his pants at because I need me some. I need to look. I need to start looking like Adam Hangman Page. My God. And also, I hope Hangman Page got this promo approved ahead of time. Because we know what happened last time. Hangman Page cut a promo on the AEW World title. I'm just saying, last time he cut a promo on the AEW World title, some hands were thrown. So I hope, Hangman Page got this promo approved ahead of time. But in all seriousness, I thought this was a tremendous segment here with these guys here. For a match that, to be honest with you, up until this segment, I wasn't really feeling this match. And that's not to say, Hangman Page and John Moxley, are going to have a bad match. I was always excited for it. But to be honest with you, I felt like the promotion of this match felt kind of lacking. Felt kind of lacking on AEW television. It's like they had this big match here, and they weren't going all out to promote. They weren't going all out to promote it. We would get, they weren't going all out to promote it. So, but this segment here, I'm glad they had this segment on the show tonight because this changed everything, man. I thought this is a tremendous segment. I thought this is a tremendous segment, tremendous promo between these guys, and I'm ready for next week. And man, Mox, that is going to be fun.
I'm right there with you, man. I mean, they had a face-off. I mean, they just locked eyes. Fine. Last week, Mox cut a short promo on Hangman Page, which was fine. But tonight sold me on the match. I know it's predictable. There's no way, Cam. There's no way John Moxley is losing next week to Hangman Page. But I'm sold on the match, man. It's in Cincinnati. It's in Moxley's hometown. Poor Hangman Page is going to get booed out of the building, but I'm looking forward to this, man. I really am. And then after next week, it's on to MJF for Full Gear, and that is going to be awesome. Seeing MJF, the promos. I feel like not next week, but probably the week after, we could see a segment between MJF and good old William Regal. I'm going to predict that right now, so I'm excited about that one. Speaking about William Regal, he was on commentary for the Ring of Honor World Championship match between Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho. This is their third match together in a span of 6 weeks. Tonight for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Great match. Really enjoyed the match. I mean, I'm just going to say it right now before we get to the ending of this match. I know a lot of people who like to crap on Chris Jericho on Twitter. I will be the first person to stop that. I mean, Chris Jericho shouldn't be pushed as the world champion, but let's face facts. Let's face facts, folks. Number one, this year is the best in-ring work I've ever seen in Chris Jericho's career. I don't know if I'm reaching or not, but the in-ring work that this man has done this year has been phenomenal. With matches with Eddie Kingston, Blood and Guts, Anarchy in the Arena, his match with Moxley, the series of matches he's had with Bryan Danielson, and I'm sure there's other matches that I'm forgetting in this. The man's in-ring work has been unreal this year, man. And I mean, I don't think he is, but you could consider him as the wrestler of the year, maybe. I don't know, but that probably goes to Moxley. But that's one. And number two, it's only been 3 weeks, and I feel like Chris Jericho's made the Ring of Honor World Championship feel important in this story with Bryan Danielson and Garcia. Now, Cam, what I'm confused about is this ending. So Jericho is about to cheat. He grabs the Ring of Honor World Championship. He's gonna hit Bryan Danielson with the World Championship. Out comes Daniel Garcia. He snatches the title away from Jericho, and he hits Bryan Danielson with the World Championship while the referee is knocked out cold. The referee gets back up, and he counts to three, and Jericho retains the Ring of Honor World Championship thanks to Garcia hitting Danielson. Now, I don't know about you, but what I noticed while watching this was Garcia had no hesitation going to going to get the title away from Jericho or going to push Jericho. He hesitated before he hit Bryan Danielson with the title. And then when he hugged Jericho, he didn't crack a smile. He didn't crack a smile on the ramp. He didn't look happy to be with Jericho. I still think there's more to the story. And at the end of the day, I don't know when they're pulling the trigger, but I do think that he will turn on the Jericho Appreciation Society. At this point, it's a matter of when and what the story is going to be told. I don't know, but I'm interested. I'm certainly interested. But hey, I love unpredictability in my wrestling stories. Was I shocked by this? Absolutely. Was I like, what the hell is going on when he hit Danielson? Absolutely. Was my jaw literally dropped to the floor when Garcia hit Danielson with the world title? Yes. But this makes for unpredictable storytelling, and I love it, man. Jericho retains. Great match against Bryan Danielson. What'd you think, man?
I thought this was a really good match here. And to bring up your point, to bring up your point, 2022 being the best entering year, Chris Jericho, I think it's definitely up there. I think it's definitely up there. I think the only other year that would come close. And people are watching people that are watching this. I was not, I was not born I was not born while WCW was in its infancy. So he may have had some better matches in '97 and '98 with the cruiserweight division in WCW. But to be honest with you, Joseph, I think this year is on par with 2000. I think either 2022 or 2000 might be Jericho's best entering year. The year 2000, that year, Jericho had great matches with people like Benoit, Kurt Angle, Triple H, Benoit, Kurt Angle, Triple H. So, Triple H, Rock. So, Jericho in 2000 had some great matches as well. I think that's up there. But I would be curious to you, man. 2022 this year, I think it's been killer. And Jericho going back heel and doing the Jericho Appreciation Society stuff, it's been a massive home run, man. Because I was one of those guys that I was just not really feeling what Jericho was doing in AEW after he lost the world title and he went babyface and had the inner circle with him. I just wasn't really feeling it, but this whole Jericho Appreciation Society thing has been a massive home run. And in the ring, it's like in the ring, it's like Jericho went back. It's like Jericho went back a couple years because in the ring, his matches have been absolutely incredible in the ring, and I think he's definitely. I don't know where he will rank among Wrestling of the Year thing guys to make the list, but he probably would be top 10. Jericho is top 10 wrestler of the year right now. I thought this was a really good match with him and Danielson. The one thing that bugged me about this match, and this is kind of a minor thing, I'm the only one that felt like it took forever for Daniel Garcia to come out when Jericho was holding up the Ring of Honor title. When Jericho's holding up the Ring of Honor title, and Jericho's holding up when he's holding up the Ring of Honor title, and Jericho's about to hit Danielson with it. I cannot be the only one that felt like Daniel Garcia took forever to come down to the ring and take that chance, to come down to the ring and do that swerve. I thought Daniel Garcia took way too long there. But overall, I thought this was a really good segment here, and I thought the swerve was really good. Uh, I'm hoping this leads to Jericho. And I'm hoping this leads to Daniel Garcia turning on Jericho because the story and the payoff of the story should be Daniel Garcia winning the ROH title from Chris Jericho. That should be the storyline. That should be the storyline payoff. Not nothing else. So nothing else. So I thought this was really good shit.
Yeah, I mean, God forbid, I don't think it is, but God forbid the storyline ended with Garcia just going back to the Jericho Appreciation Society. That would be so disappointing, man. I mean, all the build up and the storytelling just for him to go back to the Jericho Appreciation Society, that'd be so disappointing, man. But no, I agree with you. I think it's far from over. It could carry into next year. Who knows? But um, yeah, just by the facial expression by Garcia and how pissed he just looked pissed while hugging Jericho and on the ramp. Didn't crack a smile at all. And at the end of the day, I think he's swerving Chris Jericho. And I mean, we'll see where it goes from here. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. My apologies. My apologies. Anyway, I usually don't talk about backstage interviews, but I saw you like you were a little, I mean, confused about this one.
Yeah,
Uh,
this promo confused the hell out of me, man. I was about to rip them a new ass. Right? Okay, look. I understand. I don't watch Rampage anymore. I just don't.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, Rampage is Dark 2.0. I don't watch Rampage. I don't. But I saw Battle of the Belts where Nyla Rose stole the championship to Jade Cargill. Okay, cool. And they're doing the whole storyline. Cool. We've seen this a million times. We've seen this a million times in wrestling, where someone steals a championship belt. We've seen this a million times in wrestling. Okay, cool. Two things. One, because you know good and well Jay Cargill was there tonight. Jay Cargill I have a segment with Nyla Rose where she took back her TNT, where she attempted to take back her TNT title. That's one. And two, this segment confused the hell out of me because of the wording Anna J used. Anna J was like, because of the wording Anna J had. Anna J basically, Nyla Rose basically cut the promo about how she's the true TBS champion, even though she's not, and all that shit. And then Anna J comes out of nowhere. Anna J comes out of nowhere, and Anna J is like, well, how? And the judge's like, well, since you have the TBS title, how about you see me on Rampage? How about you see me on Rampage this Friday, and I'll show you and Jay Cargill what a true champion looks like. Hold on. You good folks over there at AEW ain't gonna make this a TBS championship match because I don't make no damn sense. You asshole, bro. Oh.
I don't know, man. I honestly, no disrespect, I honestly forgot about the TBS championship. I mean, it feels irrelevant. I hate using that word, but it just does. And now Jade's feuding with Nyla Rose with a storyline that we've seen, like you said, we've seen it a million times in wrestling. I'm just not interested, bro. I'm not interested. But speaking of women's wrestling, we had a very, very good tag team match, which I enjoyed. Um, I cannot remember the last time I saw a women's match this good on AEW TV. It was Tony Storm and Hikaru Shida against Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. Bro, these women killed it tonight, man. They had the crowd chanting, "This is awesome." Jamie Hayter is so over, man. It is incredible how over she is now. Ever since Britt costed her the title back at the All Out pay per view, And man, when she turns on Britt, it's going to be a great moment, and she should take the TBS championship off of Jade Cargill, man. If Statlander's not back in time, it should absolutely be Jamie Hayter, man. I'm so happy with how over she's getting with this crowd. But I thought the match was really good, and Sheeta ended up pinning Britt Baker, and it was announced um, during the main event that next Tuesday it will be uh, Tony Storm defending the championship, the interim championship, against Hikaru Shida. So looking forward to that one. And are you there, Cam?
I'm here. Hold on. I'm here. I'm here. I had to get up. I'm here. I got to charge up. I got to charge up my computer, but I'm here.
Awesome. So I'll carry on and I'll wait till you get back. But I'm looking forward to the Storm and Sheeta match, and I hope this is a an elevation from when Saraya came into AEW just a couple weeks ago. She talked about how she wants to change the division for the betterment, and hopefully bringing her in is that case. And last week we saw a fine 6-woman tag. Tonight we saw a great tag team match. Man, give me this every week with the women's division, man. What do you think?
I like. I like first off. Tony Storm and Tony Storm and Hikaru in the next week. That match is going to be excellent. That match is going to be excellent. I'm very much looking forward to that match. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'll continue to say it. Tony Khan, open the show with it. Open the show Open the show with Sheeta and Tony next week, bro. Open the show with it. Give them 20 minutes in the open. Give them 20 minutes in the open. I promise you. Give them 20 minutes in the open, bro. I promise you, Tony Khan. That's gonna be a hot way to kick off Dynamite right there. I promise you. But I thought this was a good match. My only issue with this match is I feel like we've seen this match every fucking week on television. I feel like we have seen I feel like we have seen a combination of Tony Storm and a tag team partner, whether that be Tony Storm and Athena, Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa, Tony Storm and plug any baby face on the roster. I feel like we've seen this match a million times. Tony Storm and a partner usually thrown in there against Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. I don't want to see this shit again. I do not want to see this shit again. I don't want to see in 2 weeks they're right back to doing this match here. I don't want to see that shit. We've seen this. I feel like we've seen this match every week for the past 3 months. It's time to move on. Come up with something else for Tony Storm. Or come up with something else for Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm. You don't have any other ideas. This is the only way you can get them on the show. Come on, now. Come up with something else, Tony Khan. You know better than that. Come up with something else. Do Sheeta and Tony Storm next week, and then do Sheeta and Tony Storm next week, and then build from that, man. Because I swear to God, if we see that on Wednesday, we get another tag team match with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter against Tony Storm and a partner. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose it. So please don't give me this match again. Don't give me any variation of this match again. Don't do it.
I honestly think, my honest perspective, I think this is leading toward a Tony Storm Jamie Hayter match for the women's championship. Maybe at Full Gear, where Britt Baker accidentally costs Jamie the belt, and Jamie is going to absolutely lose it. So then we won't have to see the tag team matches again once Jamie turns on Britt. That's where I think that's where I think this is all going. That's my prediction. So
I hope so. I hope so because I don't want to see this. I don't want to see a variation of this match again. You don't want to see a variation of this tag team match again. I don't.
see what happens. See what happens for sure. Then we got the main event. Main event for the All Atlantic Championship. We had Orange Cassidy challenging Pac. First off, I thought the Elite was going to come back during this match and cost Pac the All Atlantic Championship since he's one half. He's actually 1/3 of the Trios Tag Team Champions champions, but that did not happen. Before we talk about the match and before we actually talk about Orange Cassidy winning, first off, fantastic main event for the short amount of time it was getting. Shout out to Pac, man. Um, I, I have never, outside of maybe Dolph Ziggler, who's a great seller, I have never seen someone sell the moves like Pac sells to Orange Cassidy's Orange Punch and Orange Cassidy's DDT. The way Pac sells those moves, it looks like Orange Cassidy just absolutely murdered Pac. Like he's folding him inside out. Uh, he gives him the Orange Punch and he sits right down. He's going inside out. He's just getting knocked out. The way Pac sells, man, it's freaking incredible, man. Pac's awesome. Pac deserves to be the world champion. I so want him to be the world champion one day, man. Just for how great of a wrestler he is. He's so underappreciated. What do you think?
I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Pac is incredible. Pac is incredible, my God. We had 35 minutes packed last Friday. For Battle of the Belts and Rampage. We need more of that. Keep it up. We need more of that. We need more. We need more Pac in the ring. I'm sad Pac's reign as the All Atlantic champion is over. I thought he had some killer matches as All Atlantic champion. But I thought he had some great matches. But I think Orange Cassidy is finally champion in AEW. What took you so long, TK? What took you so long? No, seriousness, though. I'm very happy Orange Cassidy is a champion in AEW. And Orange Cassidy going to different promotions, than in that world title, that sounds fun. That sounds great and all. But it sounds great and all. But I got three matches I need to see. But I got three matches I need to see Orange Cassidy have as the All Atlantic champion. And Tony Khan, Tony Khan, I hope you listen to somewhere, buddy, and I hope you're taking notes because we need these matches on Dynamite. We don't get these matches on AEW television within the next couple months. I'm coming to Jacksonville and I'm going to raise some hell. We need Orange Cassidy and Konosuke Takeshita. Takeshita is on his way back to the U.S. Takeshita is on his way back to the U.S. Takeshita is on his way back to the U.S. He's on his way back to bless us with some more AEW matches. We need Takeshita and OC. We need Orange Cassidy and Bandito. We need Orange Cassidy and Bandito. We need this match. Throw it on Dynamite, throw it on Rampage. I don't care. Throw it on the next Battle of the Belts. I don't care. Just throw this match on television. And then we need, hopefully at Full Gear, TK convince Ghetto to send Will Ospreay over for Full Gear. We need Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay the rematch for the All Atlantic Championship. That's what we need. That's what we need. Those are the three matches I need to see Orange Cassidy have as the All Atlantic Champion. I don't see them three matches. If I don't see them three matches, Tony Khan, I'm coming down to Jacksonville, and it ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty. I'm telling you that right now. I need them three matches on AEW television, Tony Khan. Thank you very much.
I don't know if we'll get the Will Ospreay one, but I'd like to see the other two. Those sounds like very fun matches. But man, I mean, Orange Cassidy's done so much for AEW ever since he's been in the company. In the beginning stage, he's the number one merch. He was the number one merch seller for AEW shop. He's the overall fan favorite. Many 2 years ago. Um, you got kids dressing up like him for Halloween and for attending shows. You got little kids always dressing up as Orange Cassidy. If there's anybody that deserves a championship, it's Orange Cassidy. I know a lot of people hate him for his gimmick and how much of a joke he is. Whatever. Let them spew their bullshit. Orange Cassidy's phenomenal. He's so great in the ring. And even if it's the All Atlantic Championship, I do think he deserves to be a champion in AEW for sure. And I'm happy to see him holding the All Atlantic Championship. I would have liked to seen Pac hold it for longer, but I understand that he's still trios champions with the Lucha Bros, and now he can put all of his focus into being the trios champions um, with Penta and Rey Fenix, which I feel like should be top priority. But man, fantastic main event. Orange Cassidy's the new All Atlantic champion, and it was a great night of wrestling, man. So that is going to wrap it up for the channel tonight. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. I will be back Friday, yes, Friday, for your preview of the Week 6 matchup between Minnesota Vikings and the Miami Dolphins. We're going to talk all about that on Friday here on the channel. Be sure to comment down below your thoughts about tonight's edition of AEW Dynamite live from Toronto, Canada. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from myself, and me, and Cam. And finally, you can follow me on Twitter and TikTok as well at Conlon_Joseph. Cam, you can plug your socials, my friend.
Follow me on Twitter at Cam71101. And also, make sure you subscribe to the CNE podcast on all platforms. Because I'm just saying, DPW. Because I'm just saying, DPW is coming to Concord, North Carolina in November, I think it is. I think next month. And hey, I'm just saying, man, Escobar might have some interviews lined up. I'm just saying, man, Escobar might have some interviews lined up with one of them currently being signed to AEW. So I'm just saying, those interviews might be coming up. They might be coming out. You don't know. You got to look out for them on the CNE podcast. You got to look out for them on the CNE podcast. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. If we could get an interview here on the channel too, I don't mean to sound greedy, but if we could get
I'm trying my best. I can't say names. I think I can't say names, but I think you know them. I'll talk to you off there. But I'm trying my best to keep them on the channel. Trying my best.
I know we're not going to spoil anything, but we'll get one soon. I'm hopeful. But Cam, thank you. Um, that's it. Thank you all so much. Hope you all enjoyed the review. Spread kindness to one another. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. We out. Peace.